So how old are you?
26.
I'm 35. There's a 10-year age gap.
Damn.
Yeah. Isn't that weird?
I don't feel that though.
Why?
I feel like you're just another 28, 29-year-old, but smarter. That's also because like women just mature faster and
But
better
then
than
I
guys.
should be like 40.
Maybe mentally.
Yeah, maybe mentally I am 40. I mean, my bakchodi, I feel like, or maybe I'm compensating too hard with the bakchodi. I don't
I
know.
feel like we all do. Yeah, I feel that I have to as well
Why?
because people are settling down. People are getting married, and now this is the main issue, right? Now, I own a business, I run a business, but at heart, I know that the content that I want to make needs to entertain people. So if I can't do my bakchodi, I feel like I'm being disingenuous.
Got it.
And the problem with that is if when a place where there's so much content being put out, so if you really want to stand out, you try a bit hard, and then you think that more forced bakchodi means you're being authentic. And I learned that the hard way because I realized that as much as I want to swear, make sex jokes, and do all of that, at some point, if someone relates Turkey to the business owner, and then if that gets in the way of doing business, it's problematic. And the
Yeah.
only time where it won't be problematic is if I end up becoming so big that what I do for business doesn't matter. But that's,
I'm actually
a fine
trying
balance.
that out now. When I started off damn serious with all my Instagram reels and my podcast reels. We were talking about serious topics, serious subjects. And now once I got the following, now once I have the people, now I'm just like, chalo, I'm also going to do a little bit of bakchodi.
You
I started
would
with serious.
advocate serious first, then go bakchodi?
I would
That's worked out
say,
better?
yeah, I would advocate for serious first, but not from the sense of not showing your real personality. I would say serious first because work first. First, figure out what
Yes,
works for you.
fair.
First, figure out your stream of money, and then start like easing in and having fun. Because everything now, all of this relates down to money.
Yeah, 100%.
How much money do you make? And like I know, like just a few minutes ago, you were talking about how it's really hard for you to even as a 26-year-old to even like go clubbing every night or every
Oh
other
God, I
night.
hate it.
Exactly. Right? It's so much work that's been taken away from you because you're stressing out the next day. You're more hungover, you have like less brain space.
Sleep deficit,
Yeah.
man. People underestimate that, but yeah.
Yeah, so you are like struggling the next day, which kind of takes away from the amount that you would actually make.
Yeah, 100%.
Right.
And like, the biggest dilemma that I was in for a very long time was what content do I make? Because it's very pivotal to me. I sell content for a living, right? I'm not an influencer. I don't have that much of a following, but touch wood, things are going well. People buy into my vision right down from the people I sell to, plus the people that work for me, right? To me, that's a small step forward in the right direction, right? But when it comes to content, it's like, what's your starting point? And for me, what I didn't want to do was be a guru who preaches things. Like, how are you going to preach exercises and nutrition if you yourself aren't ripped and have a six pack? So I didn't know what comes first. Do I build my following
Got it.
and then preach you do ABC? Or do you talk about tips and content? Then I found a sweet middle ground where you're not talking about following, where you're not preaching something you don't have, but you're talking about things that you would do, or you talk about things that you admire. So it's very top level, top funnel content that anyone could find interesting. So I found the sweet spot where I would do case studies on people's brands and how they build it, to give my own take on it. And it's not me preaching anything about how I would do it, but I just kind of break down what they do.
Got it.
So it's still a subject matter related piece of content as opposed to a personal story where you're preaching something. So
I
I
got
felt
it.
that was a little authentic to me because I was kind of geeking and nerding over something,
It's like a teacher, no? Maybe.
Yes. Like, but the scary part about being a teacher is that people become teachers when they can't cut it out in the field themselves.
Okay, that's a
rarely.
narrative change that needs to happen. But okay, fine. I get it. I get what you mean.
So but now
If
it's
you
nice,
couldn't land the job,
there's-
then you rather just teach the job kind of
a
situation.
lot of people do. That's how courses are, right? Today,
Yeah.
like 2025 economy filled with courses of people telling you.
I can't. Like, I don't relate to it. I mean, I'm sure at some point I'm going to come down to doing this and then we can release this clip. But I don't relate to like 4 best ways to improve your mental health. Buy my course for $25 only. I'm like, dude, come on, bro. Just like take a one-on-one client. I mean, of course, I understand like, you'll have like 10,000 people paying your $25. I get the math and I get the economy around it.
What's
but,
even your lead magnet, bro?
but like, honestly, I don't relate. But also, I am at that point where I can afford to not relate. And if I didn't have the money,
Yeah.
I would have to probably do things like
But
this.
I don't. That's the thing. I don't feel like you've got to suck up and do what you don't like. You wouldn't do that. I feel
You
like
need
you
a
would
cushion.
still talk about.
You
what,
need a cushion to like try something new and try something different. If you have rent to pay, you have to get food on your plate, and all, you'll end up doing things
But you
that
don't
are
have to
generic.
compromise it. I feel like that's the beauty of content. You can express yourself in the way that you feel fit. Baki sab gaand mara. Like
So,
it's people can go fuck themselves if they don't like it. It's a very
fair, fair.
no
fair.
no. What I mean by that is like
I get it.
coming back to the content thing. Like say Nikhil, the founder of Knockout Media, would make content about content styles what you like. Turkey would make vlogs. Right? So I get to satisfy both, but then the vlogs are like the last one. But until then, we put the credible content that builds your credibility. But I would rather break down what a creator has done, and touch wood, the 1 out of 7 videos that I've done hit
saw
100K.
that. Cafe owner.
I would rather do that 30-40 times because I feel genuine doing it rather than like suck up. For example, there's this chick who goes like, you can make a year's worth of content in 1 hour. Put this in ChatGPT. I'm like, have you fucking tried scripting in ChatGPT? It's not going to give you shit. Like,
I fully agree. I fully agree. Dude, also, wait. What are these people trying to just sell you? Like, anything is a hook nowadays. Like,
Yeah.
okay, give me a hook that you think is super crazy.
See, I'm old school. I love the flash in effect where you come in, like disappear and come in. But if you're going for the most easy kind of hook, I would say it's the like just sit in and talk in front of a
Yeah.
camera. Just like pop in, just
Yeah.
drop down and sit. Don't
Yeah.
go for anything crazy. Twirl around in a chair.
Yeah.
I really like these high angle wala views. So like if you set your tripod up somewhere there
Yeah.
and you tilt it down and you're just lying back down and talking to a camera from this angle,
Yeah.
to just personal favorite ones.
I am so fed up of the Instagram hooks, bro. It's just like the 4 best things, the 5 best things.
This is a visual hook. Washing your ass.
Yeah,
this is a visual hook. Snorting cocaine. This is a visual hook. Fucking my girl.
Dude, there are so many of these. I'm so fed up. Oh my god. This is a B roll. This is an A roll.
This is a storytelling hook.
I'm like, bro, come on, just shut up. So now when I view Instagram, now I'm only viewing it for fucking work. Now I'm just like, okay, what is work? Because now I'm viewing everything as content curated for me. So what I actually like na is the most kachra content. Like I want to see like 4 women cleaning the floor in some village and it's making them shine. Like I want to see that shit.
Yeah.
I want to see like cleaning videos. I want to see like, painting. I want to see like random shit now. I do not want to see like educational content because I'm like, I am the fucking victim here. You targeted me. I got targeted. And if I watch it
You
more than
got
3,
gamed.
more than 3 seconds, I'm fucked.
You're like, I will not give you the satisfaction of
I'm not going to give you my view.
fuck
Send
you
me
and your
this.
attention.
Fucking hell, I get so mad. But yeah, coming back to content, when I saw your page, I was just like, he does everything, right? So now what I'm struggling with is I'm able to get the people onto my page, but now what? What am I going to give them differently? So now I'm trying to do these kind of things like sitting in a car talking to a friend, because this is what real Aditi is.
Dude, honestly,
I'm-
I love what you've done with your Bandra pod. I think it's
Yeah,
so fucking awesome.
it
It's
is,
such
it
a
is.
and I'm just
It's very
annoyed
chill.
you don't put it on Spotify.
I should. Okay, but now the other thing is that when I see your page, I can see that you do everything. But then it's like, today I was with a friend and I was like, oh, Nikhil's coming. And I was like, I'm sure you know him. He's in the content space here. And she's like, no, I don't. And then I showed her your profile and she's like, what does he do? And I'm just like, what is that one thing that I can say that he does? And of course, I know you've said content creation. But I'm like, what does he do? Like, what is his page out for? So what would you say?
Entertaining.
Yeah.
I just want to entertain people.
Yeah.
Which is
Okay.
also why I'm like taking a
Because you do
small step back.
everything.
You're right.
But-
Break this down, right? Put it this way: content for company, content for Nikhil, right?
But right now, your face is the main face for the company and Nikhil.
Which is why there's an overlap, which works well and it doesn't,
Yeah.
right? Where it doesn't work is that it's a bit all over the place. It's like, what the fuck is this guy doing? And I
Yeah.
think it's a little paralyzing for me because I don't want to go full business like and here are ways, here's how you can get 2 million views on your Instagram. Like I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
but at the same time I want to be me authentically, which is where you see that in my vlogs. That's heartfelt. Like every adventure I go on with my mum, even like me and my mum making content, I love doing that. It's a lot of fun.
I think I saw
Like
that.
you know, just tiny piece of content with my mom, me going out and gym vlogging with my friends, going on a new experience and then vlogging that's very personal to me, right? But it's just tough because right now I've got to draw that parallel. But the reason why I do the interviews with people is because back in the day I used to do podcasts, and I figured that a very effective way to do it now is just ask
The best question?
the best questions in the shortest span of time,
Okay.
get snappy Q&As done. That's the podcasting of 2025. It's very difficult. How many people are going to sit through this entire 1 hour
Yeah.
conversation?
It's
The
going to be
odds
very
are
hard. Very
we've
hard.
got to find our moments and see, okay, let's put like snippets out that make sense.
Yeah.
And now that internally fucks with your brain because now
Now
rather
you
than
have to
having
be creative.
yeah, you're like, fuck, did I say this as a hook?
Yeah.
Is this a hook? Where is the visual hook? We're in a car.
Yeah. Oh my god, same. It's like how do you be chill, man? Like everyone constantly just wants to be stimulated. And then like I also went through this phase where I've got so many following now. I have so many unfollows. Like there are 4,000, 5,000 people. The moment I change my content a little bit, 4,000, 5,000 people will keep
What?
unfollowing. Yeah.
That's a lot.
But like, I mean, I'm also getting like 4,000, 5,000 more. But
Yeah, fair.
in the sense, like, it's just evening out. I'm not growing, but it's fine. I don't want to be so addicted to the numbers, right? I don't want to constantly be like, I'm not growing. I want to keep changing because growth is like, you have to evolve, right? You can't be stuck on the same thing. But that's my main question is like, now as a 20-year-old, how do you view content creation?
If you're a girl, you're set. You're gonna win social media. You're gonna win content creation. If you've got an OnlyFans, you've already won social media. Like,
I see why that would
easy
be.
mode. You're a girl. Get your ass on social media. Start making content. You can win on social media. You can get visibility and like
So use it to your advantage yourself.
play to your advantages. Why wouldn't you? It's like the best time, like to do it. You know.
But isn't it like so cramped up? Like Instagram is so cramped up now.
But that's the whole thing, right? See, it's so cramped up. There's so many options that people will keep going and seeking out the next option. Like, dude, like just think about this dopamine hit that people are getting from scrolling endlessly.
I've seen this one chick on Instagram. I think her name is Hina. We will fact check this later. But she is a cook. And she just goes to like 3-4 houses and she shows what she's cooked. And every 4th video, she will show how the entire actual cooking recipe.
Okay.
So she doesn't. So she'll just be like, ये घर पे मैंने ये भैया के लिए ये मटर बनाया, ये घर पे मैंने ये दीदी के लिए like पनीर बनाया. First she just says it. After every few videos, she'll actually show the cooking recipe. And dude, her engagement is, and fuck all phone, fuck all lighting, fuck all editing, everything is fuck all. But her engagement, man, fucking fab. How many recipes of hers I have saved and sent it to my cook? It's insane. Like the opportunity on Instagram is crazy. But yeah, again coming back to it, like as a 20-year-old, do you feel like you have any advantage? Like as a 30-year-old, I can say that there's a lot of cringe attached to it.
I get where you're coming from when it comes when you're talking about cringe, right? Because it is an important thing to note. See, I work with founders, and the most common thing is that
It's
people
cringe.
are under the perception that you would have to dance or shake your ass to get famous, and that's not entirely true because there's two types of content that you can make, right? You can either make content that gets views or content that engages people. Content that engages people would be more, it'd be growth but slower, right? I can argue that, Aditi, if you weren't talking about mental health and whatnot, right? And you just decided to do outfit changes, look pretty, and slap on the latest trend, right? No matter, put your looks aside for a moment, you would probably be at 400k followers if you just did that day in and day out, and you started posting some sort of putting clickbaity content, right? And you leverage your body and do all of that.
Dude, I try that, by the way. Like I have told my team. So when we put like a normal like mental health poster-ish thing, like a normal post, I have gotten, I mean, I'm on a 42k following right now. I'll get like tops maybe like 6k views on that. But if I put a picture of me after a workout in a sports bra, 11,000 immediately, like double. Yeah, double.
See?
Immediately. You show skin, and you make it seem like it's a part of your process. Like, oh, I'm not purposely showing skin because I'm showing skin, but I'm showing skin because I just came out of
Yeah.
the gym. You know, like I'm sweaty, I'm showing
It's
some
a
skin.
woman's world on social media. It just comes down to this, right? Like you've got view content, you've got engagement content. If you're putting engagement content,
I
you'll grow
like how you
slowly
say
and you
that. I like how you say that it's
True
a
it.
woman's world, but can we decode that a little bit deeper?
Sure.
Who is watching? Who's watching all these women?
First off, I think women are appreciated by both guys and girls, right? So girls will probably be there to potentially to support their fellow women.
That is,
And-
that's one part of it.
Yeah, sure.
So I'm just saying, like, there are women, and you're saying one part will support and one part won't.
One
so,
part,
So
yeah,
you're saying from
yeah.
gender, we're bringing it down to half.
100%,
Okay.
100%, right?
Then
And then you've got guys who are most likely just there beating off to anything and everything that moves on the internet,
Got
right?
it.
Like you, it doesn't matter how you look. They would beat off to that signboard right there. That's guys,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
They want something to comment on. They want something to send their friends.
Yeah.
And like they're about like 5 clicks away from jumping on a Pornhub next. It's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
the way guys function now.
Yeah.
So I just think that it's a women's world because the kind of shit that we see right now, right? And I've been guilty of this too. I'll be scrolling and it'll just be two girls making out. Who doesn't want to watch that?
Yeah.
Like I'm watching it. The guy next to me who's standing in public, he's watching it.
Yeah, it's
right?
true.
It's cool. And then what happens is you will end up scrolling. There are women who will wear a bra, they'll wear something super revealing, and then they'll talk about medicine or geography.
Yeah.
There is a woman who explains string theory on Pornhub and makes more money doing that.
I'm sure.
So the whole, it just comes back to the fact that guys respond a lot to any sort of sexual and sensual stimulant, as I'm sure you've experienced.
Yeah.
And I just think that at this point, it's one of the easiest things to monetize, period. Like you see that even in real estate,
Yeah.
you'll see that in coaching, everything. Like a guy
Yeah.
will probably feel more comfortable even talking to a woman
Yeah.
and revealing his feelings as opposed to a guy as much.
Yeah. I
Right?
agree. I agree.
So I just think that when it comes to social media, you've got those advantages. Don't get me wrong, the day that I get ripped, I will be that guy who will make a cooking video by like sexily seducing like the onion
Yeah.
and shit.
Yeah.
I will do it 100% because I know women are going to thirst over it. I will tap into that advantage. But the audience there is like women and gay dudes. And
No, but that's what I'm trying to get at. I'm trying to get at it is that you are sexualized, right?
Yeah,
And you
100%.
are giving in you are consenting to this. Like when you're like, I want to do this. You said that. It's like when I get ripped, I want to get into,
oh yeah, oh hell yeah.
right?
Listen, if I had the freedom to do an OnlyFans,
Yeah.
I would fucking do it in a heartbeat. But
Yeah.
women are smart. They don't need to pay for,
So
They
the
don't
thing
need to
is
pay for
that
this.
I get the fun out of it. Like if I have to think about it like from a monetary aspect, why won't I just be on OnlyFans? I'd get more money. But it's really not about the money, right? At the end
Yeah.
of the day, it's about, am I worth it? Like everything that I paid for my courses, I have done pro bono clients, I have spent years in therapy. And now I have this knowledge, and this post and this reel doesn't do well, but me in a sports bra does well. Like, where is the worth, right? Like, what's your worth at the end of the day? So, if it's just my body, let everybody just be dumb, na, then. Because content also matters at the end of the day.
it does. And it
I
depends on
want
what
to
you're
be,
selling.
yeah, but I want to be smart. But if me just sitting in a sports bra and being sweaty is just easier, if everybody does that, we're going to be living in a very dumb world right now. And then you want to be treated well for the knowledge that you have. You want to be treated well for the experience that you have. I've dealt with so many clients. I want to be known for that. I don't want to be known
Because
for
that's where you make your money. At the end of the day,
That-
like you could
and
sexualize
that's-
yourself and do it, but then if that impacts, like sure, you could potentially get more views on social and people would probably want to engage with you.
for the wrong reasons.
Yeah, but then they're not going to come and pay you money for what your actual services are.
Exactly.
And you don't get to do what you really love doing because I think, you're making content about what you love doing, but, is the content what you love or is the thing that you're doing the thing that you love? right?
Exactly.
So-
And the thing is that we've also had experiences where people book a fake call and then they will flash you on camera.
Oh,
Because you have such a big following. When people book a Calendly link, they'll pay through that, but they will come and just flash you.
wait, so they pay you and they come and they flash you. And that's easy money.
I mean,
I'm not saying.
it feels like it's really disgusting because I don't want to see a fucking
Yeah, for
hairy
sure.
dick. I don't want to see this shit.
Do you ever give feedback like, man, at least like, thoda aesthetics, groom and cop?
This is really disgusting. Like a dick is not the prettiest thing in the world. I do not want to
I
see it.
agree.
I think it's easier for people in their 20s to get into content creation because you've kind of grown up with or without the cringe. Like it's normal. The cringe is normal. For us,
It's normalized,
yeah.
yes.
For us in our 30s, it's still a little like we get the ick with each other.
But
Like
I
I'm
think-
sure my friends get the ick with me, and I get the ick with them.
Yeah, I think if you think about it, right, just from, I think the simplest way to maybe think about it is the fact that you're not cringe. I know might be a very blanket term, but I think it's the shyness and the awareness to do it. For example, me growing up in this era, and maybe me being in this field, I can record anywhere at any time. You can turn on a camera, I'm camera ready, and I'm not afraid. Even if I fuck up, I'm fine with it. But I feel like people in their 30s are a little more guarded, and
Yeah.
you know, they're a little more cautious about how they
It's not
represent
normal
themselves.
for
And you know,
us.
yeah, and you think a lot more about the perception, right? You know, I wanted to, speaking of this whole mentality that you have about cringe and what's cool, what's not.
Feels like an old
How
mom
would you
bottle,
react?
but
how
it's
would
not.
how would you react if your daughter has an OnlyFans?
I think I would be worried because of not the fact that she's selling her body to make money. I feel like if you've reached a point of, okay, now I have a really crazy body, it's an exception. Like if you have a crazy skill, you'll use it to make money. What I would really be worried about is the byproducts or the after effects of
The
all of that.
attention and the negative.
I don't want like
Mm.
stalking. I don't want like, you being recognized in a place and feeling unsafe. I feel like the other things around
But the
just
things around the fact that in OnlyFans you can sort of pander to people's perversions, right? So if someone says, and this is true, right? Because this is what's kind of really changed the adult industry, right? So when you look at adult entertainment as a whole scope, earlier it was very limited to porn, which means you had to have sex with someone on camera in some way, shape, or form,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
To make money.
yeah.
Now it's very different. Now there's a girl who sells a jar of her farts and makes millions, right? So you have to sexualize yourself, but you don't necessarily have to have sex on camera. I think they're two very different things.
I think people who have an OnlyFans account are very smart people,
I agree.
right? They want to work smart. You don't always need to work hard. You need
Yep.
to work smart. So even people who are on like content creation is one way of doing it. So OnlyFans is a way of like working smart. So I am again just worried about the after effects of all of this. Like, how do you view yourself? What if you have a child one day? How will you talk to yourself if you put on some weight? And you're not going to be able to do that one thing that was giving you all the money, self-worth, self-respect, whatever you want to call it. Like you could live your dream life. How will you do that? And that seems very heartbreaking. So yeah, I'm very scared of the after effects. It feels.
But you'd be okay, like in the sense that if your child comes and says, "Okay, mommy, I'm doing this. Like I'm not selling my body, but it's like
Yeah.
because it's a very different dynamic, right? See,
I get it,
this
I
is
get
you
it.
with your kid. For me, maybe not old enough for a kid, but maybe mine would probably be a partner, right?
Hmm.
And if that happens, that's a mindfuck in itself. They're very different dynamics because over here you're like, okay, she's probably going to mint way more money than I ever will. But on the plus side, I backed the girl and none of you fuckers did, and you're all paying for that. And plus, like at the end of the day, if this means that you're gonna pay to watch me pound her on camera, cool, bro. Like you're gonna thanks for the money, appreciate it. Like I like the audience. I'm not practicing these strokes for nothing.
You also said that you're not camera shy, no?
Exactly, I'm not practicing these strokes for nothing. Like I need some feedback, I need some criticism. Let's make Indian porn great again. Like I'm there. I'm doing it for the country.
I actually have no problem with it. I actually feel like just the other day, like 2 days ago, I was talking to somebody and I was saying that, okay, I'm going to get this guest. He was on the panel of India's Got Latent and I want to talk to him about a few things about that show. And then they were like, who goes for these Vahiyat shows? Okay, so I'm basically was like, what makes it Vahiyat? And I was like, if it's dark comedy, it's dark comedy. They've described it, it's not your vibe, don't watch it. So then my next question to him was, do you think like porn and OnlyFans and like the adult film industry is vahiyat, because there's a whole economy. People are fed because this is a thing. You're actually making money on it.
Hmm.
And he's like, yeah, it is. And I'm like, bro, like, you will fuck up a whole section of the economy if this gets banned. Like, people will be out of jobs. So I was like, if anything translates to money, I think it makes sense.
So you actually mentioned Leighton, right? And I was thinking about this. You've been in Bombay when this entire madness went down. How do you like the fact that these people have persecuted comedians with the same ferocity that they should be persecuting rapists and all these other guys with? This is the worst way to prove that, hey, as a country, we'll get your criminals, but the wrong ones. And we'll do it fast.
Dude, it was so bad. It was so bad. Somebody has come out there and said that, listen, I am cracking a joke. He's given you warning. He is selling tickets. He has put it on his subscribed list. So he's also like hidden it from the rest of the internet. The other people who've cut, copy, pasted and put it elsewhere, that's a whole other topic. His intention, Samay Raina's intention was to keep it within the community that likes it. Right? And now, after all of this, with giving ample warning, if you're then saying, but it's a dark joke, how can you crack it? Then who is to be blamed here? Someone who's given you the warning and told you, like, this is my platform of dark jokes. Outside India, everyone's making fun of us. You know how many videos of comedians I have seen saying, bro, Samay was doing such a great job, he gets millions of views. Suddenly this one video went down, and a joke that exists on the internet, a joke that exists on card games, a joke that we talk about after like 4 drinks at 3 a.m.
100%.
A joke like that has like shut his entire system down.
And I don't think it was even him. That's the thing. It wasn't even Samay. Like, that was the crazy part.
It wasn't Samay, but see, I don't want to see everything. At the end of the day, everything is politics. Everything is politics.
It's so different, I feel, now. In 2025, as a 26-year-old, I find it so much more difficult because now it's just about the optics. And we were talking about this earlier, which is that women now, because of the options that they have available to them, get spoiled too quickly, too soon. And then what happens is that becomes an expectation. And then there's an issue, right? The guys who do that for women, where they display ostentatious displays of wealth very easily, they end up treating the women like shit, right?
Yeah.
Because for them, it's just a wham bam, thank you ma'am. And it's not a show of affection. It's just a show to impress them, right? Yeah. And it doesn't go anywhere constructive or useful. And then they still believe that, okay, you know what, this is the caliber of man that I should attract. But then there's this unreal expectation that he should treat me like this, but also emotionally be nice. Right? And I'm like, you can't have both all the time. You can get there, but it comes slowly, right?
Yeah, if you're ready to stick with the man through the struggling phase, you might get both, but it'll take some time. But if you on the first date, if you want emotion and finance, probably you won't get it. And the people who try and find that always attract the wrong kind of men. And that's why we always say, people who attract toxic partners eventually do it again and again till they don't learn their lesson. Like, even toxicity is something that you will attract constantly through friends, family, relationships, till you don't actually learn what your lesson is in toxicity.
Since this got cut off, I want to revisit this. I think Instagram is the best place to date in 2025. At least for me, works better than dating apps.
Because?
Yeah, if you think of it from a sales perspective, people are just so much more warmed up to you. So they know what you do, they know who you are, they kind of get an idea of who you are if you're authentic. And if you're fake on Instagram, you're cooked either way. But I say this because I've been playing a lot with AI, and because I've been playing a lot, I've realized that, okay, you know what, now I can look like the Dubai kid that's irrefutable, right? Wear a tuxedo right in front of Royal Atlantis and I look like fucking James Bond, and you can't tell if it's real or not. So I struggle with taking pictures, which is, I know it's an issue, but
you're a content creator.
I am horrible with pictures. I'm fine on camera, but I'm horrible with taking pictures.
Really?
Right? I hate taking pictures. I look like a fucking pumpkin when I do. And because of that, I feel that now you can bullshit absolutely anyone and everyone. And if I do get on Hinge, I'm so tempted to try this out just for the sake of it, right? I've got these like prompts down. I'm like, let's just see how people respond to this. Like, let me put these pictures out.
But that's, that's what people do, right? Then they, in New York, they'll create this fake restaurant to see how people react to it. Like, this is a most elite fake ramen restaurant, to see how people like, put reviews and book and
Oh,
stuff.
yeah.
It's just to like fuck with someone's mind.
I'll do it.
You-
I'm going to do it.
You-
I'm going to do it. I'm going to make my Hinge profile
A
and Bumble
fake-
profile. I'm going to use AI Nikhil pictures in it, blend it in with a few real Nikhil pictures. And then I want to see what the response is. Because none of my pictures, right, shows any sort of luxury. Because the difference is that,
But I think
See-
it's also a very Dubai thing, yeah. Like, you're constantly judging.
and also the competition in Dubai isn't that big. I'll tell you why. Because no matter how well dressed the guy is or how well off he is, the guy somehow manages to make an ass out of himself just by the way he conducts himself. Like, I feel like guys in Dubai take L's because of etiquette and the
But it's
way
not
they portray
hard.
themselves.
It's not hard to be rich over here. Like, you can own, I mean, you can do whatever. You can own like LV belts and shoes. You can get a car on like rent or EMI, whatever. You can get it. It's not hard to like
You mean
show
it's not hard to
luxury.
show luxury? Yeah,
It's
yeah,
not
yeah.
hard to
but
show
people go
luxury.
broke doing that, and I feel
Of
like
course,
what-
I'm not talking about the long term at all. I'm just saying for the pictures, it's not hard to show luxury. It's
100%.
really not.
And see, I have not consciously ever taken pictures of myself, period. Like,
Okay.
you will never see me go out and go like, "Arey, take a picture of me now," like, and pose in front of people. Put me talking in front of a camera,
Yeah.
anywhere, I'll fucking do it. Ask me to pose for a picture in public, I am shitting bricks because I'm just like, yo, this looks retarded. I
Because
am not.
you don't know what to do with your hands.
I don't know what to do with my face, hands.
I don't know what to do with my
I
hands
can't.
usually.
Pictures with friends is fine. I have enough pictures with friends. Like,
Alone, no, you're talking about solo
alone-
pictures.
Solo, I'm cooked. You know, the guys have gone for dating app shoots. That's what they do. They go for shoots. They're like, man, I'm getting 4
Dude.
outfits. We're gonna go and do it.
I don't know what to do with you 20-year-olds. Y'all are fucking ridiculous. How can you go for a social media, like a dating app shoot? This is fucking dumb.
I've been approached by people who are like, yo, I
Shut the fuck up.
need to spice up my
Shut
Hinge
the
profile.
fuck up.
Will you come take a couple of photos? I'm like, fuck no.
Okay, I
I
thought
am
it pays
not-
well, you'll do it. Like OnlyFans.
How? rather do the OnlyFans.
See,
No.
we earlier spoke about self-worth, right? And
Yeah.
I was like, if somebody is coming on my call and just showing me his dick, it's easy money, but that's not what I want to do. So
Ha.
if you can see how it relates
No,
to this.
but for me, I have a simpler thing. It's less about the self-worth. If you paid me like 2,000 dirhams to come and shoot your Hinge profile, I'll fucking happily
but-
do it because it's like for 3 hours of my time. You're paying me 500 dirhams an hour. I'm happy to do it.
Fair. No, but I'm just like, here, it's also not like something that you want to put on your profile. It's not something like you just spoke about it with so much disgust.
Of
It's
course.
not something that you want
Yes,
to like go
yes,
on doing,
yes,
right?
yes,
Because it
yes.
doesn't give you that value. It
Mm.
doesn't make you feel valuable. So you can see how we related to
But-
that.
But you do understand that if I post shirtless pictures of myself or a very seductive video and I have my abs at this point, and a girl tells me I'm fingering myself to this and
But
I'm
you
ready to
have
pay
thought-
you $50,
But you
I
have
would be
thought
like,
about
fuck yeah.
it. You have thought about it when you have removed your shirt and switched on the camera and decided to post that on Instagram. You have thought about this outcome. A lot of times when I have gone onto the call and I get flashed, I
yeah,
have
that's
not
fucked
thought
up.
about
100%, 100%, 100%. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
right?
No.
And then I'm just like, it's not that I can't do it. Do I want to do it? Like the way you spoke about, okay, I mean, people want to take like pictures of them for their dating. It sounds silly. You don't want to be a part of this. I'd rather create
Yeah, there's
something
nothing to share.
art.
There's, yeah, 100%.
What do
yeah.
I share? Exactly.
Yeah, yeah, it doesn't- it
exactly.
doesn't
How
go
will I
there.
grow? You know,
No,
you're thinking about these things.
Very weird thing though. I feel like if the roles reversed and if chicks started doing things the way guys did, we would live in such a happy and peaceful society. Like if I walk down the
That's
road,
it. That's the last line of this. We don't need anything more. If that's the line a guy can say, that's it. You don't need an explanation also. This is your hook. This is your headline.
it is like it's because like look, if I walk down the street and woman's like, "Hey baby, nice ass," I'm like, "Oh, thank you."
Yeah, that's
say
it.
something more.
That's it.
Like
that's
I'm walking down, someone grabs my ass. I'm like, oh,
it. That's it. That's it. That's it.
finally somebody appreciates it.
Yuck, dude. A man's body is so disgusting. Why would you want to touch
No,
it?
that's the thing, right? I feel like when you send nudes, right? girls have it so easy because here's the thing, right? Anything a girl can do looks beautiful. Like a
Dude.
girl can not even show you anything, and like it could just be the way she stands, the way she is, like the selfie, the smile. Like I've gotten like semi nudes, and I'm just like, oh my goodness, you're just beautiful. Like
Yeah.
you're beautiful. I'm not like commenting on your body. I'm just like, damn.
Yeah.
Right. Now it's my turn, and I'm just like, kya dikhao? What? Like, what is
Yeah.
there? What is there?
Yeah,
There's
dude.
like, you know.
Even like women have curves. Curves are so
Yes.
beautiful. Like, I don't want to see your hair. I don't want to see.
Hey, not every guy is like
No. I'm
fucking
just
rocking
saying.
a bush.
No,
like, you know, it's
I'm not even saying
not
that. I
the
just want
80s.
to see the square also. Like
that's
a
there,
V, great, but I don't want to see the square.
Oh, for sure. That's the thing. I think on average, right? I feel like as a guy, unless you're fit, the pictures aren't like as much of a thirst trap. But you could be a very, very normal girl. Like you don't have to have the greatest or the fittest body, and like you know, you can still be very beautiful in your own skin.
Absolutely,
But
I
guys
agree.
can't. Like for me, when we did that nude exchange exercise, to some degree, it was because I go to the gym, because I had like hard flex and I could see my V. That's what she liked. But I in turn genuinely love this girl for like.
Yeah.
I loved her body as well. Like, she'd keep giving me shit like, oh, I want to go to the gym. I'm like, nah, ma, keep the curves, keep the curves. You gotta grab something over here. Like,
No, I get it. I fully get it. I mean, of course, like now when you talk about like sending nudes and stuff like that, are you ever conscious about your body?
no, I'm just sad that, God didn't bless me with as many inches as he did with IQ points. It's just sad. Like,
But like there's nothing else that you don't think about, like your arms or your cuts or your.
see, it doesn't stop me from sending it, but I have this acceptance that if you don't have it, work hard, get it.
No, but the way you view yourself.
I don't have any sort of hate as such because touchwood, like, see, I've got enough validation from someone or the other that, like, acha, you look good, you're here. Like, everyone has always said something nice or the other. And touchwood, I haven't, like, I've not had to deal with any sort of obesity or any of that in my life, right? I've never been a fat or chubby kid, right? I've been disproportionate because, like, South Indian, the problem is you're skinny fat. You get it? So for me, it's like my man boob show, or like, you wear your white t-shirt, your fucking nipples are visible from the moon. Like that I've had a little bit.
How
The
do you deal
max
with that?
started wearing black shirts.
So
And
did
started
something
doing
to like cover it up.
But yeah, I mean, I don't get so bent out of shape because it's more like, okay, I used to get made fun a lot, right? Now, if your nipples are hard and it's visible through your t-shirt, okay, it's not the worst thing in the world, right? Because like if you've got chest definition on all, it's
So
fine.
then there also there's acceptance.
Yeah. There my friends used to go like, hey, Mount Titlis, so they'll just be like, oh, I used to get reamed by my friends, like, your nipples are visible from the moon. Like, they'll be like, oh, cover your nipples. At one point, they're like, bro, just buy a nipple pasty and use it.
Yeah.
And it fucked with me a little bit to the point where, like, I never wore white t-shirts after that, right? But I also realized that, okay, if that's the case, just go to the gym, work out, eat less, reduce man boobs, look a little better. Who the fuck cares, right? Like, make up for it with your confidence.
But
it's 100 things you could do.
It's not so easy to say who the fuck cares, na? Because you cared.
But it didn't like completely wreck me. But see, that's also me in the sense that I have like some degree. Again, right now we're on camera. I've got more marks on my face than I've had on like exam papers in school. And I know so many people, including a friend of mine, who would shiver at the idea of being seen with the slightest imperfection. He looks like a tooth. He's a fucking 5 at best.
No,
But,
I know.
Like, and I'm just like, you're a 5, bro. Like, it doesn't matter if your hair doesn't look good. ये तो चूतिया है. छोड़ना इतना क्यों सोच रहा है? Like,
I know. I mean, I've had a lot of guests who've come on to my show and been like, the side angle, this thing, this mouth.
this angle looks like shit.
Like, I'm just like, bro, you can't control the way you're going to look right now. This is a much bigger issue. Now, women are also coming from that angle where we were always objectified. We've seen really like pretty people on like the Vogue covers. We've seen really beautiful people on TV, and it doesn't end there. When you have to be beautiful enough to be on TV, and after that, because you're on TV, it's like a loop. You are like praised. You are like, it's a different upbringing, where if you're not that, then you're nothing. So, and again, this comes from a whole patriarchal viewpoint as well, because who's seeing these women? It starts with like men, right? Men want to put them out there. They are in control of the production houses. They are in control of the magazines and everything. So that's how this has come out. Now, women are like, just there's so much beauty out there that if you do not use it, you feel ugly, even though you're
really?
real. Yeah. And I mean, I have grown up feeling like, I mean, I have so many weird pictures where I've just cropped out my arm from everything. Like, I would not even like sit sleeveless. I mean, it took me so long, even last year, to even sit sleeveless on a podcast episode. Now I do it. But like,
Did
we're
that
so
come as a
worried.
case of acceptance? Did that come as a case of you working out to the point where that wasn't a problem anymore?
My arms have stopped being a massive problem for me
Okay.
for a long time, but the mindset didn't change. Like, I was okay, like even like for the last 10 years, I would wear sleeveless, I would like do it all. But to put it on camera was a whole, like, it went back to my childhood. I mean, like, I'm not comfortable, and I would get my childhood fears back. Now it's again, I'm crossing that bridge again.
How can guys be a little more aware about this? Because I've had this problem in the past where a girl would sort of share her insecurities with me, and I wouldn't dismiss it as much, but I would kind of again
Like, not
flip the
realize it.
equation and say that okay, just do something about it. Like rather than complain about it, do something. So the guy approach, especially if you're an asshole like me, who's more about like everything is your fault. If you don't like, you deserve what you get. Everything is your fault. If you don't like it, go fix it. These are like maxims that I operate with, right?
And that's exactly the opposite of therapy, because everything is not your fault. Everything can't be your fault, because if your husband leaves you, it can't be your fault. If you've been raped, it's not your fault. The whole point about life is
Okay,
that,
fair.
I mean, everybody works together, right? There are so many other stimulants here and there. Like, you can't
Maybe
control
reframe
everything.
it to like you attract what happens to you, but I guess not throughout. Obviously, like you said,
No,
if
because
you
if-
can't
if
attract
someone-
rape, like that's kind of
No, wait, 1 second. If somebody has grown up fat, do you think they've grown up fat because they didn't do anything about their weight?
How much can you blame genetics after a point? It could even be parents not enforcing discipline when they were young, parents not taking them out for physical activities. Definitely a starting point, no doubt. No doubt.
That's exactly what I'm trying to also say, is that when somebody grows up fat, yes, there might be a lot of these factors that you're saying, but it's also the way that not everybody responds to negative comments. Like, if somebody tells them that they're fat, they don't want to go and lose weight. Like, it's not so easy within guys when you, like, your approach is like, okay, do something about it, because someone has told you that.
Yeah, because 100%.
And guys are also very like roasty with each other, right? Like, you want to roast the other guy. You're not going to sit down emotionally and be like, say, so what's wrong?
Yeah, cried out, honey.
Yeah.
You know.
So you can't expect the guy to do that. And like, guys doing that with each other is also not healthy. You might see one or two good things that have come out of it, that you've lost weight. But guys doing that with each other is also about just like numb your emotions, get your shit together.
Yes, like
Right?
face the world with it.
It might work out in your weight loss, but it's hampering your relationship health.
Oh, 100%.
somewhere
Yeah, which is what like I feel like guys don't get a whole lot, including me. So how do they fix it?
So women, on the other hand, also have heard this from other male figures or other like aunties, and everybody has it starts from there, right? You're hearing it from someone else. So it's like generational trauma now that has come down. You have to like empathize with that person and be like, okay, why do you feel so shitty in your body? Like, a parent is able to give that to a child, then they're going to be able to understand their pain points and then deal from there, right? So it starts obviously at a younger age. But if you are talking to someone now in their 20s or 30s and they still are conscious about their body, it's because we've been made to feel conscious about our body. We've been made, like, feet pics are fucking being sold, bro. Like, what the fuck? Now everyone's supposed to have beautiful feet. I can't control that. I can't control how much weight comes on my fucking feet and how curvy my ankles are or whatever.
Yeah.
That's
Unless
how,
you're in the business.
that's how crazy it's going to, right? And how much do you control? Like, nothing is good enough anymore. Like, even if I lose like 10 kilos, I will now want to lose another 10 kilos because there's a girl who is like 50. Then there's a girl who's like 45 kilos. Like, where do you stop?
So
There is
where
no-
can men empathize over you, and how does that begin? Because I don't
Yeah,
know what the first starting point is. How does empathizing begin for men?
For men, I think it's generally about, I think you're still looking at it from, it's two separate things, right? It's like your weight is separate and your emotion is separate.
Okay.
Like, I feel like you have to look at it as one person who has a weight issue because of an emotional issue, right? It's not two separate things. Like, you all tackle it very differently. Like, if you have a weight problem, go to the gym. If you have an emotional problem, go to a fucking therapist or like speak to a friend or go wank off. You know, like it's looked at as two separate issues. I'm saying, can you look at it as one?
Interesting.
Ask your question.
No. I'm just saying, like, so that's a weight-related thing. But say in general, when a girl talks to you and tells you things, what's an acceptable response? Because a lot of times, as a guy, I genuinely believe that I might even have to fake this response, even though every fiber in my body is like, let's do something about it. Like, stop crying, right?
Yeah, but
So,
it's not about crying. It's about being vulnerable, and I think
how do
that's
you
what
acknowledge it and show that support, even if you don't fully mean it? You're at least saying it, and
No, I think
you
that's
as a dude, but you as a dude are at least moving one step towards, okay, I'm showing some empathy, and this is how it works, and you don't have to be a dick all the time.
Yeah, so that's the thing. I think it's not understanding that someone's being vulnerable. When I'm telling you about my body dysmorphia or my arm issue, I don't want you to fix it for me. I don't want you to give me a fucking solution.
Okay.
I just want you to hear me out, to know who I am, that 5 years later, when you want to buy me a dress, you don't buy me a sleeveless dress. It's us connecting as friends and as people, but you don't need to fix my fucking problem.
Gotcha.
You understand?
Gotcha.
Did you just like get an epiphany?
Oh, this explains a lot.
Yeah, but that's what vulnerability is. I'm opening up to you because I feel safe enough to tell you something that's bothering me. But because something is bothering me doesn't mean I'm crying about it. Doesn't mean I want to get fixed. But yes, on a day where everything is shit, this might bother me more. So you might have to hear about it a little bit more.
Okay, now I know where I fucked up with the ladies. Because like there've been times where like, you know, a girl would be vulnerable and I'd be like, you know, for example, she'd be like, I can't eat right. I'm like, okay, this is how you fix your protein. This is your meal plan. Here's, let's do this. Like, you know, accountability. I'm here for you.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, send me pictures of what you're eating. Let's fix this.
Yeah.
This should be your meal.
Yeah.
I will tell you this. And she's just like, bitch.
Rejected. Immediately rejected.
Not even rejected, like, and then she gets more mad at me that this fucker doesn't understand me. But I'm like, I did understand you. I'm giving you a solution, and this is my domain of expertise. So therefore, you know, you're trusting someone who's doing it also, right?
I would immediately block you. Immediately. Yeah.
Interesting.
Can we have like a dating series? Like you just, all the boys just come with their problems.
No, it's you know what? Like at this point, I think you should just come with me on my dates.
I think so.
Just like, you know,
like just a silent.
Just be there, and
like just kick you under the table
and translate what women say. And honestly, this isn't at this point, it's not even an issue with the dates. Like on the dates, I'm fucking charming. So the main thing is just that that, you know, it's not the conversations. Then it is the WhatsApp chats and the conversations on the phone after the first couple of meets where you're connecting with someone and they're emotionally they're getting vulnerable with you, and you think you're the top G by giving them a solution when that's not what they want.
No, they don't want it. Women do not want your fucking solution, bro. Just chill out. I also, you know, I think one of the biggest problems that I feel now are like exist within this Instagrammable world is that everyone gets bored really quickly. Do you feel that?
I feel like relationships in general are super cooked in this day and age, and I'm actually pretty scared about that, because what happens is that I think at a very core level, either there's a higher rate of self-satisfaction that's not shackled by societal expectations, such as, you know, back in the day, your satisfaction would be predicated on, are you married, do you have kids, do you have a job, do you have this? But now maybe I feel like there's a larger crop of people who are satisfied doing what they're doing, living their life on their terms. They've got access to opportunities and things where, you know, for example, there are people who work remotely. You know, they do these programs where they travel to different places and work and do some services. So they're satiated, they're traveling, they're having a good time. They're financially independent, so they can do what they want. And even now, they're not really, I feel like women want to feel cared for, but maybe aren't really looking for a provider financially all the time either, right? Because of that, a guy has to step up and be more than just a wallet, right?
Yeah, because I mean, see, finances is taken care of. We can bring in the money. But as a provider, if it's not the money, do you have the emotional support to give a woman?
Exactly, which is what I feel guys, mainly me, also lack, because I keep thinking that, oh, you know, if I work for us, do this, and we're able to be happy. Not that like you're sitting here doing absolutely nothing. This is one of the reasons why my previous relationship fell apart. Because when we had a conversation about this, and I asked her, I'm like, where do you see yourself in 5, 10, and 15 years? Like, what do you want to be doing? She's like, why are you asking me such deep questions? It's not an interview. I'm like, no, but I want to understand because I'm like, what are you waking up for? Like, I am waking up so that I can execute on my vision for my 5, 10, and 15-year plan. That's what gives me hope every day. Even if I'm not like working, even if I have no money coming in, there are still other goals I have that I want to hit in 5, 10, and 15 years, which is why even if I have fuck all to do,
Yeah.
I would love to wake up at 8 or 9 in the morning and then go do those things and come back and then figure out what the next thing is, right? So I do have that degree of, again, I call it like raison d'etre and all that, right? Like your reason of being. And this girl was like, I just need you to get as rich as you can quickly because I want to stop fucking working. I want to go work out. I want to be a mom. I want to take care of a kid and I just want to have my hot girl era and like follow passions of mine that don't necessarily generate revenue but keep me happy. But that really put me off.
Yeah, that would put a lot of people off. Of course, I understand some women, they don't get the complete concept, but one other big thing that you need to realize is the corporate life, the corporate lifestyle that was created was never created for women.
Why do you say that?
The corporate lifestyle, the working class was only created for men because
Interesting.
only men were working initially. Women have come into this structure because we have to prove ourselves, na? Because we also want money. We also have to escape like our father's homes and bad marriages and all of that, right? We
Right.
also need to be independent. So we have hopped onto it. It wasn't made for us, right? The structure wasn't made for us. We were initially homemakers. We didn't do one thing for like 8 hours. So we would do like 10 different things in those 8 hours. Like we would multitask that way. Multitask doesn't mean that while I'm talking to you, I'm handling 4 other things. I would do just 10 things
Of
in
course.
the day.
Yeah.
So we are also forced to be in this structure, and that's why a lot of women are just like also wanting to give up after a while. Like, I've proved myself, I made the money, I just need to relax now. Yeah, it's that it is coming, that burnout is coming. So the ones who manage to figure out the freelancing life, why do you think I have a passion project? Why do you think I have, the Bandra podcast and this and that? These are all things to distract me from my constant like revenue source, what makes me my actual money. If I can manage all of this, I won't get burnt out,
Yeah, for sure.
because that's how women operate. And now if you see like women-led offices and businesses, they understand this concept. They are able to leverage how a woman works, but a normal corporate lifestyle doesn't do it. And the ones who have figured it out, they have gotten the best output from the women in their
Yeah.
team.